Magic. Everyone knows it, everyone loves it, unless you're one of those crazy people who doesn't like it. But most importantly, it's really fun in video games. And that's why today, I'm going to be adding the first of many powerful abilities to my game, WispBorne. Wait, you don't know what WispBorne is? Well, that's perfectly reasonable. Let me explain it to you. In the game, you play as a wisp familiar of a wizard who is left paralyzed summoning you while he was running from a horde of monsters that were chasing him. And you know that if he dies, you get dispelled, so your job, obviously, is to protect the wizard from the many waves of enemies, and then you get more powerful along the way, and you beat bigger and badder monsters, and it's fun. It's a power trip. In my last devlog, I went over the basics of making my game, such as the movement system and the combat. A link to that video should be somewhere around here if you want that. Anyways, on to the stuff I made since last time. I started out with an enemy spawning system that uses a point-based system to determine which enemies spawn when. At the start of each wave, the game is given a certain amount of points per wave. Additionally, each enemy type is assigned a point value. To spawn an enemy, the game must have the sufficient points left over to do so, and it randomly selects an enemy each time. And if it doesn't have enough points, it reselects. So think about it like the game is going to the enemy store with X amount of money and is like, do I want to buy the flying eyeball or the slime? The eyeball costs 5 points, but the slime only costs 2. Do I get multiple of the same enemy, or have less enemies but a higher cost and a cheaper enemy? So it's really just like it's a random enemy spawning system. So that's the logistics of that. Now, onto the magic system that I promised. I started out with making a sprite for the attack. My idea was that it was going to be a high-powered blast attack which deals damage to 10 times your normal physical damage. I did that because the way I have elemental damage and like magical damage programmed in, it has to have an element tied to it, but there's no way to do that without already knowing a base element for the player, and it's a whole complicated thing, so I might figure it out later, but currently I'm just sticking with physical damage. Then, I got to work on the actual logistics of the attack, which totally didn't take me too long at all. What the fuck? Why did it just hit every single enemy? Okay, I need to fix that. Anyway, that took a while, but now I have it working, and it looks wonderful. And the charge meter for the attack is also working pretty great. All I have to do is add a bit of pixel art UI element to signify when it is fully charged. So, while I'm doing that, I would like to have your gaze be focused towards that shining subscribe button right here. Doesn't it just look so awesome? Don't you just want to click it? Cool, you did? Cool. Now, let's move on. Now that I've implemented all of that, I can move on to the last thing I'm going to be doing today. At the moment, the player is kind of just floating around in an infinite void. Holy shit, JJK reference. To fix this, I spent, and I kid you not, 1.5 hours just drawing grass. If you told me that the part of the game I would spend the most time on so far was drawing grass, I would have laughed in your face. But no, holy shit. That was so time-consuming. But anyways, we have a nice little forest clearing now, so that's really fun. That's all for this devlog, so I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one, which I hope to get out sometime in March. Goodbye for now.